you're new here, you might not know it, but I'm a bit of a Skyrim fan. But I was also born in 2003. The year that brought us memories of Mario Kart Double Dash, Sonic Heroes, but more important than anything, Charlie's Angels on the PS2.
Not to blow anything up.
That being said, I miss some stuff, like Mario Sunshine, The Wind Waker, but most importantly, The Elder Scrolls III Morrowind. As a Skyrim expert, I feel like it's my duty to educate myself in the lore and history of my favorite game's predecessor. And after playing this, I can tell you that it is a lot different from Skyrim and Oblivion. So how well will I do? How far can a Skyrim expert make it playing The Elder Scrolls III Morrowind? Compared to Oblivion and Morrowind, Skyrim's title screen is kind of boring. These old ones are just a lot cooler. We start with a short cutscene, then we hear a man call out to us.
Wake up.
Is that you?
You're finally awake.
Oh my god. I named myself Heraldor the Pleeker Planker. After I told Giube my name, a moment of culture and history occurred when this guard walked toward us. He wanted me to follow him, so I did. In case you were wondering, when you play this game, you might be tempted to use E for your activate key, maybe F depending on the game you play. And if you're an 8-year-old, you might even use right mouse button. But Bethesda had something different in mind when they developed Morrowind. They weren't gonna conform to the societal standards. They weren't gonna follow the rules by doing what every other PC title would do. No, they were gonna pave the way for a future generation of keybinds. It's space. Spacebar on the keyboard, that's how you activate. After leaving, I see the one thing on the whole screen that is literally impossible not to notice. Why does the water look like this? It looks weirdly real compared to everything else, yet oddly fake at the same time. For our character, we chose a Nord, considered Argonian for a bit, but, well, no. I'll speed through the class picking section for you. I basically set my guy up for intelligence and swords and stuff. Also, I'd like to mention that I spelled intelligence wrong twice while writing this script. I thought it was worth noting because, well, intelligence. I chose the lover sign, and this is where everything went wrong. I opened the stats menu on my screen and literally never found a way to get it off. I tried everything, but no matter what I did, I couldn't get rid of it. Google told me to just click my health, mana, and stamina gauges at the bottom, but they literally disappeared. So for the rest of the playthrough, it will accompany us by covering a quarter of our screen. However, I've devised a way to fix it in post. I'll just cover it up with one of these. I stole the long plate off their shelf. The guard told me it would be my last mistake. Then I proceeded to make the same mistake many more times without consequences. I took the dagger off the table as my first weapon. I feel like this also counts as stealing, but nobody cared. Messed with my menu for a bit, asked the captain about my duties, and took my first free steps into Morrowind. As a free man, my first action was to politely interact with the guards. Unfortunately, the guards were having a bit of a rough day and didn't quite reciprocate my kindness. And this is when everything went wrong. Again. During this whole time, I hadn't saved once. So I woke up in the ship with a strong-looking guy, followed a guard, talked to a soldier, chose Khajiit as my race, was born under the Lord sign, left the room, talked to the captain about my duties, and took my first free steps into Morrowind. After I got out, I was kinda just doing stuff, and accidentally got the sticky keys notification because I was spamming shift. I just got rid of it and then clicked back into the game. I got an error message, but wasn't sure what failed to create shader meant, so I just clicked to continue running. Well, guess what? It meant that my game was frozen. So I woke up, named myself Platonic the Placenta, followed the guard, chose the Argonian, chose the shadow sign, went outside, got my duties, and took my final free steps into Morrowind. I was finally ready for adventure. The random encounters happened as soon as I stepped foot outside the town. Pretty sure I saw this happen in the Dragonborn DLC though. I took the man's cool hat and put it on myself. Check me out.
Yes, sir. Yes.
My first time in combat was with a skeever. Actually, why does this not work? Why isn't it working right now? Give me at least 9 good reasons why these shouldn't hit. My swings will just miss for no reason whatsoever. I got caught in some high-level Bethesda craftsmanship when I stepped in this small, otherwise harmless, actual rivet in the ground. Yeah, I couldn't get out. But eventually, I just did, for no reason. Nothing happened different, and just walked out. There was a cave right next to us, and I wanted to explore it. I saw a man, and my Skyrim instincts told me, man in cave dies today. Unfortunately, man in cave did not die, because I couldn't land a single sword hit on him. And guess what? Yeah. So I took a break, and did what any sane person would do to calm down. Got a victory royale in Fortnite. Woke up, name is Lion-O, the leader of Thundera, followed, didn't choose Khajiit for some reason, chose class, left, duties, first steps, free man. Then I did something that all of you can be proud of. Finally, after all this effort, it was time for adventure. I can't explain it, but after doing all that restarting for no reason, just being able to walk around in the world of Morrowind felt like the funnest and most fulfilling thing I had ever done at the time. Morrowind doesn't have a compass or map markers pointing you in the direction you need to go. At first I thought this would be bad, and I would have to look up directions or something, but what I found was that I actually really enjoyed having used the signposts and my journal to find the right direction. And when I found the town or location I was looking for, it just felt awesome, because I really felt like I'd found it on my own. This was all good, however, you walk really, really slow in Morrowind. Sprinting in Morrowind feels like walking does in Oblivion and Skyrim. For this reason, I'm probably going to speed up walking sections for the sake of time and entertainment. A common enemy I found was this slug guy. He kind of just hops around and bites you, I guess. Of course, it took 5 times more attacks than it should have to kill him. Stumbled upon my first new town. It wasn't the one I was looking for, but I decided to check it out anyways. Once inside, I went to my settings, quickly turned down the UI opacity so that the stats menu on my screen was more transparent. Then it happened. I stumbled upon a god among men, the most beautiful being I have ever laid eyes on. When I save Morrowind, I will be doing it for that man. I gave myself another quick progress save, came across a woman on the road. She wanted to give me a quest, but since I turned down the opacity of my UI, I had to move the title box around to the darker spots of the screen in order to see what it said. I came across this dark valley later on and fought another worm, but after I finished him, a much greater threat was just beyond. These dragons. These dragons were the single biggest time loss of my entire playthrough. If you thought having to reset 4 times before I finished the intro was bad, you were very mistaken. All I had was a dagger, and these were airborne enemies. All the signs indicated that this was the correct road to the next city, but Bethesda still put these enemies here, even though the chances of a new player having a bow at this point are very low. You can reach them, but it's really hard. And I was stuck. I tried to run away at first, but they flew faster than I could run, and they caught me at every attempt. Otherwise, I might get lost. Stupid! Then I tried to fight back. I got lucky enough to kill one, but I didn't even really know how I did it. I just swung and hoped something would connect. I saved as soon as I killed him so I wouldn't have to do it again. Unfortunately, I wasn't as lucky with the second one. All I needed was 2 hits to kill it. It wasn't even that strong, but I was sitting on 2 health and it was very hard to get a shot off on him. I rebinded a couple of keys because I realized that you can do something in Morrowind that was never available in Skyrim. I could do mid-air attacks. As Bethesda does, they binded jump to E by default. This was a design choice on par with that of an infant child, so I fixed it right up and put it on spacebar. Unfortunately, this only helped a bit. I still had to get really lucky to hit it at all. I was able to land the first hit and saved immediately. This progress was too valuable to lose. This was followed by a couple more deaths, but eventually, I did it. Now that the battle was over, it was finally time to start heading towards Balmora again, that being the town that I was going towards this whole time. My life fleeted for a moment when a new challenger came over the horizon. Luckily, his looks were just a front. He died very quickly. I wasn't sure what this place was, but what I did know was there was a dragon there waiting to kill me, and I wasn't in for another dragon fight. So I went off-road, ready to pave my own path, get to Balmora how I wanted to, without following the guidelines laid out for me. So I found a new road to follow. Another wormy friend wanted to join us. Hey, what's up, little guy? We finally stumbled upon a man-made structure. This had to be it. And it was. I had arrived in Balmora. A quick look at my journal told me that I needed to find a place called Southwall Corner Club to ask about the guy I'm looking for, Caius Cosades. Hope I'm saying that correctly. I talked to the owner of Southwall and he told me where I could find Caius. He said he was uphill on the north edge of town. So I went there and I actually found it immediately. So now all we have to do is go in there and talk to the man. Oh my God. The absolute titan of a man told us what to do. We needed to join the Fighters Guild and buy some new gear. He even gave us $200 to do so. I had to search for the Fighters Guild for a while since it ended up being on the other side of town, but I found it and joined. Afterward, I made some purchases, a set of chitin armor, an iron sword, and a bow. I went outside to give my sword a few swings and get a look at myself in the chitin armor. At the time, I was trying to remember what the chitin armor reminded me of. I knew there was something that I had seen that looked really similar, but it wasn't until just now, at the time of writing, that I realized that it reminded me of the chitin armor from Skyrim. Good job, Isaac. I found out that sleeping is the way to regain health. I checked my journal. I got caught between this lady and a doorway, so I had to use the in-game console to escape. Realized that this was one of those times where I could just use the map to find the house I was looking for. This woman needed help with a skeever infestation. With my new gear, this would be no problem. I went for the one in the bedroom first, then upstairs to take care of the other two. She paid me 100 gold for my services, and I was off to report back to Caius. He wanted me to do a favor for Hasfat Antibolus. Really hope I'm saying these correctly. Hasfat wanted me to go find a Dwemer ruin nearby to get a Dwemer puzzle box. I knew what I was looking for since they had one in Skyrim. There were no directions, no signposts, and no indicators on where the Dwemer ruin was. But I figured there was no harm in going to look around for it. So there was harm in going to look around for it. Of course, none of my swings connected. Eventually, the skeleton just died, even though I didn't hit it, and then I died. So it was back up there to fight him again. But we would take a new approach this time. I was shocked to see how effective that was. So we made our way up and into the ruin. The bandits inside didn't really stand a chance. What did stand a chance, however, was the trapdoor that killed me in seconds, and the fact that I forgot to save on the way up here. So we did the bow strategy again. The first arrow missed, but the second one hit. Then I re-entered the ruin. I can't lie, I searched every inch of this place looking for the cube, but didn't find hardly anything. All I found were bandits with mediocre gear, a little gold, and some items to sell. So I went outside to look for any other possible entrances to the place, and couldn't find anything, not even on the map. So I was at a standstill, and I really wished that I had had a quest marker. If you enjoyed this video, I plan to do more videos like it. I post videos every Sunday, so if you had fun, give it a like because it helps push my video out to a larger audience. If you want to come back for more in the future, subscribe so that you never miss an upload. I'll see you guys next Sunday.